Hey, good morning, everyone. It's another great day and a beautiful day in Mobile, Alabama. Yeah. This is our pre-meeting on Tuesday, November the 2nd, 2021 at 10:30 a.m. I want to go ahead and make the announcement that this will be our last pre-meeting here in the atrium. On next week, we will be meeting on the 9th floor. Madam City Clerk, we are now in your hands.
We have approval of minutes. This is the pre-meeting of the Mobile City Council, Tuesday, November 2nd. We have approval of minutes from October the 19th.
Good job.
We have the appeal of Rashawn figures concerning the ARB's denial of his request to replace windows and doors and install a mural at 809 Government Street.
To bring the new council up to speed, Mr. Archer, would you like to speak on that just a little bit?
Yes, sir. This is an appeal from the ARB. The issues were involving the types of doors and windows and a mural that was going to be painted on the side of the building. It was denied by the ARB. It was appealed within the appropriate time frame. There's a record of all the documents on Novus, and but I understand that they met. Mr. Figures and the staff met the other day, and a deal's been worked out, and they're going to request a layover for 56 days. So, and he's going to apply back to the ARB to do something slightly different, I think. Okay. And Ms. Kessler may have more info if that isn't.
Ms. Kessler, Ms. Biko, is everything is okay?
Everything good with the layover?
Yeah, Ms. Kessler coming.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Councilman Small. Yes, Mr. Arledge is correct. The staff of the city representative for the ARB, Christine Dawson and Shayla Biko, met with Mr. Figures last week and reached an agreement on each of the three elements of his application, two of which will be we anticipate will be approved, the third of which he intends to withdraw for the time being. So the purpose of the holdover is to allow those elements to get worked out, to allow the two items to be approved by the ARB and Mr. Figures to resubmit on the third item.
Okay. Any questions from the council?
No, just on the date, 56 days. Lisa, can you?
It was December 28th. Is there any reason it couldn't be the first week in January?
No, you can.
First week in January.
Okay. What would that date be? We can go ahead and make that.
I got it.
Yeah,
That is
January 4th.
4th?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Madam Clerk.
Public hearings. Today is a public hearing to declare the structure at 1162 Congress Street a public nuisance and order it demolished. Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Reggie Hill has signed in. He's addressing what is it, CV 2021 and how it will impact governance in the city of Mobile moving forward, and the importance of selecting proper municipal judges. Ordinance is held over. 64036 rezoning the property at 2551 Casa Street on from R1 to B1. Resolutions held over. 08960, approved purchase order to Precision Delta Corp. For cases of ammunition for the Mobile Police Department. 08961, approved purchase order to UJ Chevrolet to repair wreck damage to patrol SUV. 08962, approved purchase order to Dana Safety Supply for patrol upfitting for police SUVs. 08963, approve purchase order to Rush Truck Centers of Alabama to overhaul engine and pumper truck. 08964, approve purchase order to CDW Government for network firewall security devices with implementation services for MIT. 21965, authorized contract with J. Payne Organization for Hurricane Sally plaster ceiling repairs at the Mobile Civic Center. 21966, authorized contract with the South Alabama Regional Planning Commission for the operation of 3 sales centers.
Mr.
20
President,
Yes, Ms. Gregory.
this is actually 4 sales centers. We need to change that. I know the information said 3, but it's actually 4.
Okay. $21,967, authorized contract with Southern Road and Bridge for pedestrian bridge over Water Street. $21,968, authorized contract with ACP Green and Associates for professional services for planning and for long-range planning support. $21,970, authorized contract with Spire LLC for marketing services for the Parks and Recreation Department. $31,971, authorized covenant of, and 972 is authorizing covenant of purpose, use, and ownership for 3 Mile Creek Greenway Trail and for ownership of the 3 Mile Creek Watershed Restoration Project. $31,973, authorized grant application for the fiscal year 21 buses and bus facilities program for replacement of 12 buses in the Wave Transit System fleet.
Madam Clerk, thank.
Huh? I'm sorry.
Okay, it was the static.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. President, on, if we can go back to the 31,971 and 972, if Jen or Carlene, either one, probably Jen, can maybe come to the 10:30 meeting just to describe what these are and what it means, for the Greenway Trail, that would be great.
Consent resolutions being introduced. 03982, 983, 984 are appointing and reappointing Danny Williamson to the Mobile Civic Center Advisory Board, reappointing David McGrath to the City of Mobile's Citizens Budget and Finance Advisory Committee, and Michael Kane to the Electrical Examiners Board. 31,985, authorized grant applications to the Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs for the fiscal year 21 equipment grant for equipment upgrades for the Mobile Police Department. 40,986, declare the structure at 1162 Congress Street a public nuisance and order it demolished. 58,987, assess cost for removal of weeds, repeat Weedling Group 50. 60,988, approve monies stipend for Captain Matthew Garrett to attend the FBI National Academy in Quantico. 58,989, authorized removal of weeds, group 1619. 03, we've been asked to add this one, 03994, appoint William C. Carroll III to the Board of Adjustment. Resolutions being introduced for the first time. 08990, approve purchase orders to petroleum traders for fuel for equipment services. 21991, authorized contract with Downing Studio for Bugler sculpture at
Bugler.
Sculpture at Memorial Park, $60,000. 21992, authorized contract with Next Gen Utility Management for software products and services in support of Public Works work order and asset management processes, $1,551,747, and this is for 5 years.
Mr. President,
Ms. Gregory.
on this one, 21992, if we could just get some background and details on exactly what this is and how it's going to work. Yeah, it's the Next Gen for Public Works.
Mr. President, can we go back to 4968, please? Declaring structure at 1162 Congress Street. Has anyone checked this property to see if the...
Hold on, Mr. Williams. Let's finish this 992, then we'll go back to your portion. Yes, sir.
Hey, Scott Kearney, Chief Technology Officer. Yes, next gen, what we're looking at is to replace our current work order system and also our current 311 system. There's a lot of things that they kind of lack. We want to improve that, and one of the main things is just how we process work orders. And so what we did an RFP back in March, and we looked at 16 different vendors. I mean, we looked at a lot, and we had, this is mostly Public Works is involved, obviously 311 too. So we had about 20 different people represented from those departments, kind of the subject matter experts, involved in this selection process. So this was not in IT. We really wanted Public Works to really be involved and take ownership with this, and they've done a great job. So going through that process, we narrowed it down to Next Gen, just because it's got a really easy interface that I think will, you got a lot of different levels of expertise of users. The guys in the field all the way up to the supervisors and department heads. And it kind of takes care of everybody's needs in that sense. And it'll integrate with our financial system, which is important. And obviously, with the 311, being able to communicate to the public the true status of work orders, because it can get pretty complex. Somebody calls in, wants something done, but that can really involve multiple work orders and multiple departments involved. And it can get kind of complex of who's doing what and how long it'll take. And the citizens get very frustrated when that's not communicated back to them clearly. But the better you can communicate back the status of stuff, the little more patient people are. At least they know something's happening. So that's what we're looking at. It's a 5-year contract, cloud hosted. So, and it'll really give some really good tools to the guys in the field. That's the biggest thing. Is you're seeing a transition with technology, with Public Works, and where the guys in the field are getting empowered more and more with mobile devices and so forth. So that's what this software really help us do.
Is this going to coordinate with what we're doing in 311 as well, with trying to bring that up so that everybody can look at statuses and see where we are?
Yes. Okay. Absolutely.
Mr. Chairman, regarding 992,
I got a question on this last one, please.
Yeah, one second. Mr. Ben?
yes, when would this go into force? When will it be, the rollout happen? Just approximately, I know that there's probably some uncertainty.
It's a 9 to 12 month implementation. We're hoping we can do it 9 months or less. If the departments can put that time aside and be really focused on the implementation. But yes, it's a big implementation. It's a lot of data, When is it start? As soon as the contract's signed, within a few weeks, we would do the kickoff.
That's starting to do the work to implement it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, the other piece is it's training the people on the use of the new system. We've got some hardware to purchase for individuals, so they have either iPads and tablet, things to be able to go out and do it in more force than we have today. The other piece is migration of the current system into this system, so making sure that that's done. And we've done this iteration once before.
Sure.
And so that's also a part of it. So it's moving the data, it's training our individuals, and then fully fielding it.
And there's integrations. You got to integrate different systems, like the fuel management system that Fleet uses. So there's integrations, and these workflows, I don't think people appreciate. It's amazing, just from an IT point, working with Public Works. These are very complex workflows that they're doing, approval processes and which teams do what and how they coordinate. So a lot of that has to be worked out. And like we said, our current system, a lot of that logic has been worked out. But this is a good time to tweak it, modify it, change it. There's been a lot of organizational changes too, and it needs to reflect that to be more efficient.
This is a 5-year term, so does this cost include all the upgrades over that 5-year period as we look out?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Another question from the council?
Yes.
992.
Yes. Will we be able, I know we talked about with the software, will we be able as council members to be able to see a part, like with 311, the things that's taking place?
Absolutely. I mean, that's dependent on the mayor's office, how, what they want y'all to have access to. But as far as just technology wise, yes.
Yes,
Very transparent.
you will be able to see the process, kind of like the Domino's pizza, where it is when it gets in the system, where it is internally and outward facing what the communication was with the citizen.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just lastly say, the biggest thing is we haven't had a good mobile app that the public and/or anyone can look at to either make a request or view the request, and this is also going to help solve that problem. I mean, bottom line is everyone uses this to do pretty much everything nowadays, so we've got to have that, and that's part of was part of the selection process. Is the mobile app good so that the public can put it in and they can see the status of it at any time, and that includes you all.
This just continues our discussions about the SRO numbers, being able to pull up the SRO and see what the status is. And will this also give our folks out in the field the opportunity to describe what's going on with the project?
Yes.
Because we've had an issue with SROs being closed, but we couldn't tell what happened within the SRO itself, so.
They'll be able to take pictures too.
Okay. But I know y'all are working on a way to, if something closes and if something reopens, to say why it's closed. We have reopened a different SRO for whatever the reasoning is, so that, you know, we can tell and the public can tell as well exactly what's going on with whatever they've called in. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had to kind of do a workaround with the current system. That's why we're trying to get a different system, so we have something that's really built for that purpose.
You're gonna have to teach us how to do it too.
It'll be easier.
Okay.
Another question dealing with 21-992. All right, thank you. Mr. Carroll?
Thank you. Just curious, I'm very aware how the nuisance abatement process works and the procedure it takes to get a house to this point or a structure to this point. But however, have we exhausted all avenues and revenues, especially with the plan of trying to renovate, rehab, and provide 1,000 houses within the city of Mobile over the next year or so? If I remember right, and I was trying to look this house up real quick via GPS, there's an empty lot, a white house, another empty lot, and 3 houses down the street. The White House, I thought, was 1160. If that is 1162, then that house has a lot of historic value to that neighborhood on Congress Street, and it's also one of the last few remaining houses in that whole block that tenure back to a certain point in the city's history. I mean, actually, if it was restored, it's even shieldable. So I'm curious, have we exhausted every avenue?
Good morning, David Dockenbaugh, Deputy Director of Municipal Enforcement. Just a brief update, Municipal Enforcement is responsible for administering the nuisance abatement process. And just to follow up with Mr. Carroll's questions, this particular property is a single-family residential, and yes, it has roofing component problems with exterior wall problems to the point where the roof and the exterior wall in the rear is collapsing. And at this point, Municipal Enforcement does feel, based on our current policy, that this is a candidate for a demolition. Now, to follow up with Mr. Carroll's questions on renovations and rehabilitations, Municipal Enforcement has not been contacted with any offers. The City of Mobile does not own this property. We're very limited on the scope of our action, which is, in this case, the demolition process, because it does meet the state requirements and our local city ordinance requirements to bring it before council so that you, as the council, has a chance to make the decision on whether we should go forward with the demolition of the structure. Now, as an update, Municipal Enforcement is teamed with Jamie Roberts, the Neighborhood Development, which is tasked for redevelopment. And if anybody has interest in redeveloping this property, they can reach out to Jamie Roberts and engage in some of those programs that are available to see if it's possible to renovate and rehabilitate this structure. But right now, nobody has reached out that I'm aware of to go forward with renovations of this structure, rehabilitation. At this point, that's why we have this application going forward. This is heir property. The owner of record is deceased. There's a tax sale purchaser that has an interest, but there's some limitations on what the tax sale purchaser can and cannot do based on permits. And that may be some of the reasons why we're seeing some delay in some actions. But at this point, Municipal Enforcement, due to the condition of the structure, we would recommend that the council consider this for demolition.
The next question would be have we notified all nonprofits and other agencies in the city that may have an interest in purchase? Sounds like we haven't.
The notification of nonprofits, no, that is not part of our procedure. However, we do team very closely with our historic when we do the annual blight survey. for residential properties. Any property that is within a historic district or historic character is provided to our historic department so that they can review and formulate a renovation plan. If no plan comes before us, then we are obligated due to the condition of the structure. Now keep in mind, this structure is collapsing in the rear, the roof and the exterior wall. There's indication of termite damage, extensive termite damage to this property. And really, it's based on the condition of the property. That's why municipal enforcement is moving forward, and that's why we have before us today for the demolition action.
I understand that, and there are some neighborhoods in this city that do not have the protection of the historic designation. This is one of those neighborhoods that does not have the protection so that the fabric of the community can stay engaged, and we're losing those historic structures. Let's just say that this was on Ann Street, and it was one of those 5 lonely shotgun houses that date back to the mid-1800s, and we decided to do the same thing because there's air property. This is one of those houses that qualify, and I think that we should at least hold this over and give me an opportunity to reach out to some people and see if there's additional interest in saving this property. So it's just one of the few that are left, and it's in the campground, and it's a valuable neighborhood to some of us.
And Mr. Carroll, municipal enforcement has no problem holding it over to give that opportunity. We encourage that. However, I do want to remind council that we do have a time frame, which is 120 days from when we send out our notice to the owners of record. All recorded interested parties are receiving this notice. We send it out certified mail, first-class mail. We post the property. We advertise. The city ordinance requires that the council take action within 120 days of sending out that notice. So we do have approximately 60 days to hold it over to give you that opportunity. Otherwise, municipal enforcement will have to start over with new notifications if we move forward with the demolition of the property.
David, I'll only need 2 weeks. Is that good enough?
Oh, it's up to you. I just wanted to point out that we do have a time frame, which would be a maximum of 60 days.
I'll take 2 weeks of that, and I'll ask for it today. 2 weeks.
Madam Clerk.
Call for public hearings, 41993, call for public hearing to rezone property located at 4459 Government Boulevard, southeast corner of Government Boulevard and Demetropolis Road from B2 to B3, scheduled November 30th. Announcements.
Anything from the council? Again, on next Tuesday, we will be having our pre-conference on the 9th floor at 9:00 a.m. and the regular meeting will be in here in the atrium at 10:30 a.m. Anything from the mayor and administration? Okay. If all hearts, mind is clear, we'll see each other at 10:30.